What's going on, everyone? I hope you all are having a fantastic day. And today it's going to be a little bit of a different video. There's going to be no script, no real intro. We're really just going to dive right into it today and talk about Nas's brand new album, collaboration with DJ Premier, Light Years. And most hip-hop heads in the community, including myself, have been waiting for this album for over a year since it was announced back in 2024. And I personally am really satisfied with this album. Nas obviously hasn't lost a step. His pen is as sharp as ever. And I know there's a little bit of controversy online, which we'll get into in a little bit, about the beats on this album, but I still think DJ Premier held his own on this one. And just seeing Nas's love for the culture and love for hip-hop really show on this album, it makes me happy. And just as somebody who's enjoyed Nas's work from top to bottom for years, just seeing all of the references and the callbacks to previous work without like having to look it up on Twitter or Genius it was so awesome to see. Nas's love for the culture, it shows, it really does. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. I could sit here and talk about Nas's pen or, his appreciation for the younger rappers out there, the female rappers out there. He had a couple songs just like solely dedicated to shouting out female rappers, which was awesome to see. But I could sit here and talk about all these different aspects, but the aspect that I want to talk about today is his love for hip-hop and his callbacks to his previous work, which features New York State of Mind Part 3, Sons, which is a direct sequel to Daughters off of Life is Good, and Third Childhood, which is obviously a sequel to Second Childhood. Now, New York State of Mind Part 3, it's the long-awaited final part to the New York State of Mind trilogy. Sons to Daughters. Daughters is such an underrated song on Life is Good. I'm so glad we got a sequel. And Third Childhood. Second Childhood is one of my favorite Nas songs of all time. So if you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw me geeking out a little bit when this song came out, and rightfully so. So we're going to dive into all that today, starting right now. Now, you don't need me to tell you again, New York State of Mind is one of the most iconic, now trilogies of all time in hip-hop. Obviously, you had New York State of Mind off of Illmatic, no introduction there. New York State of Mind Part 2 on I Am, and finally, New York State of Mind Part 3 on Light Years, all of which were produced by DJ Premier. I mean, if you want, you can count the unofficial, unreleased New York State of Mind Part 3, in 2000 with Rakim and Alicia Keys, but I'm counting this one as part 3, alright? In this song, Nas spends the majority of the track talking about the culture of New York City, the buildings, the stories, the sports teams, the legacy that makes New York City not just one of the best places to go in America, but the world. And throughout this song, there is a sample or interpolation played throughout of Billy Joel's own song titled New York State of Mind, which I think is an awesome thing to throw in there. And I think it's just great. The song just starts out with Nas going, "Hey, yo, Primo, play that Billy Joel track." I don't know the exact thing off the top of my head, but I think it's a great way to start the song. And I know there is a little bit of controversy surrounding this song about the production. Some people think it's pretty good, while others think it's actually not great at all. And I'm in the latter part. I don't know what happened in the production department with this specific song, because this is the New York State of Mind trilogy, and in my own personal opinion, the production it's not great on this song. I don't know, it might just be me. Let me know your own thoughts in the comments, but I'm sure there's a reason for it, and maybe one day Nas and Primo will get into that. Maybe there was a certain selection of samples in there that's sort of a callback to New York City. Maybe there's a story behind it. Maybe it's not, and the beat's just not good. I don't know, but that's just my own personal thoughts. But no one was complaining about Nas's pen on this song, and I think it was just a great way to wrap up New York State of Mind. Now, Sons is obviously a callback to Daughters from Life is Good. I already mentioned that. So Sons talks about Nas's trials and tribulations with raising his own son, Knight Jones, while Daughters was about Nas's trials and tribulations with raising his daughter. It's honestly a feel-good moment that wraps up both of these songs, because Nas talks about how he was able to raise both of his kids while also continuing his career in rap. Now, there was something I wanted to talk about in this video about Nas and Primo's recent interview with Joe Budden that I thought was really cool that I wanted to talk about here, and that was Nas was talking about the chorus/bridge part of Daughters, where he goes, "For my brothers with daughters, this, like I call this song is for you," not saying that our sons are less important. And Nas was basically talking about, why would I say that? And then he sort of gets into how that ties in, and then when they were going to do the song Sons, how they were going to do that one. I'll play the clip here.
I think with it was just cool because when I did Daughters, in the chorus, I'm saying, not saying that our sons are less important. And later on, I was like, why did I say that? It's because I have a son. So it's like they're children in general. So I just gave the son a little love on that song. So I'm like, boom, when we do it for the boys, we're gonna do it for the women who are raising these boys, and men too, but we're gonna do it like, the flip side of it.
I just thought it was a great callback to one of the most underrated songs in Nas's discography, and once again, the pen speaks for itself. And then the final song on this list is obviously Third Childhood, which is a callback to Second Childhood, which is a song where Nas really talks about people who are grown adults or wannabe gangsters who are sort of living in their second childhood while they're grown-ups. They're grown-ass people who have responsibilities, who have people in their lives to take care of, and they're too busy trying to recapture their own childhood, their second childhood, to see that. A while back, Nas had an interview with Rolling Stone, and in that interview, he gave a great little trope about the origins of this song and why he decided to make this track. I quote, "How many grown-ups do you see every day that still act like children? It's a shame. In life, with your woman, your man, your family, there's grown-ups who you expect so much more from are really just nothing more than a child. They're big kids, and these are people with power I'm talking about. So second childhood was very important." And Third Childhood really has a great concept that's not a basic sequel still talking about people in their second childhood. In my own view of this song, it's talking about Nas and whether he can continue his career in hip-hop as a 52-year-old man. And the answer is yes, obviously. I mean, he has a line in this bar. He's like, "I'm the proof," and, "I'm the truth till I live to 102. He has some great bars, some great callbacks on the song. The chorus is the chorus straight from Second Childhood with a little bit of effect on it, and it's just Nas basically saying that he still has it in him, and he's still going to continue for the love of the game. And I feel like the second verse of the song really highlights the modern Nas experience, and in a good way. I feel like from Life is Good onwards, Nas's albums have had a sense of maturity to them. As he's gotten older, his bars have gotten more mature, and not like better, but in the sense that they're acting more mature, if that makes sense. And the second verse in the song, at least in my point of view, Nas is sort of preaching this maturity and trying to give his advice to the younger generation on how to behave themselves, on to listen to the experiences of his own when he was growing up, stuff like that. And I feel like that sort of reflects the last decade or so of Nas albums, where he sort of had more of a maturity when going into his projects, but at the same time, it's still the great beats, it's still the penmanship that we all know and love, it's still Nas. And I truly hope in the future we still get more Nas projects. We are, but I hope they still come in this timely manner where he's dropping an album every year or 2 years, because it's not about the charts, and just getting new albums from hip-hop's finest, it's always a treat. And don't take this stuff for granted, man, because there's only one Nas out there. Thank you all for taking the time every day to listen to this, to watch this. It is always greatly appreciated. If you want to follow me on any of my socials, I'm pretty active on Twitter. The links to those are down in the description. And with all that out of the way, I will see you on the flip side.